Hey guys, this is Subhashish Mishra. Today we will learn another Python program. We will write a program to swap two numbers using third variable. I will also show you another approach without using third variable, how you can swap two numbers. So we will see both the options. First we will write a program using third variable, how we can swap two numbers. So first of all we will understand what is the meaning of swapping of two numbers, right? So let's take one example. For example, you have one number 1, okay, and you have which value is let's 20, and then you have another number which is number 2 and the value is 30, okay. So when you will swap these two numbers, what will happen? Number 2 value will be 20 and number 1 value will be 30. So that is the swapping, right? So right now what we are saying, let's print, okay. So before swapping, what is the value, right? So print value before swapping. So value of number 1, value of number 1 before swapping, okay. We will say num1, okay. Similarly we will print value of number 2 before swapping. This is number 2, okay. Here we have taken two variables, right? One is number 1 and then another variable is number 2. For number 1 we have assigned 20, for number 2 we have assigned 30. So if you will print this, right, if you will run this, then what you are seeing? The value of number 1 is 20 and value of number 2 is 30. But after swapping, what will happen? The value will change. For number 2 it will be 20, for number 1 it will be 30. So let's see how we can do it. So we will take another variable, okay. So we will take another temporary variable, temp. We will name it as temp. What we will do? Temp equal to num1. So basically in temp we are assigning the number 1 value. What is the number 1 value here? Is 20. So what is the temp value now? Temp value became 20, okay. Then what we will do? Number 1 is equal to number 2. So what we are doing here? Number 2 value we are assigning to number 1. So what is the value of number 1 now? Number 2 value you can see 30, right? So 30 we are assigning to number 1. It means number 1 value become 30. Okay. Then what we will do? Number 2 is equal to temp. What is the temp value? Temp value is 20. So what is the number 2 value now? Number 2 value is 20, because we assigned whatever value temp having, right, we assigned same to number 2. So what we saw here? Number 2 became 20. So if I will explain you again, right, temporary is another variable and we have already number 1 which value is 20. So we are assigning number 1 to temp. So we are assigning 20 to temp. So temp value become 20. In the second step, what we are doing? We are assigning number 2 to number 1. So what is the number 2 value? Number 2 value is 30. Sorry, number 2 value is, yes, number 2 value is 30. So we are assigning 30 to number 1. So what is the number 1 value now? Number 1 value become 30. Then what we did? Again we assigned temp value to number 2. So what was the temp value? Temp value here you saw it was 20. That's why we assigned 20 to number 2. So number 2 became 20. So now what we will do? We will just print it, okay. So let me just copy it, okay, and I will put it here, value of number 1 after swapping. I will just say after swapping, okay, that is all. Now what you do? You just run it and you see it here. Value of number 1 before swapping 20, value of number 1 after swapping 30, because here value of number 1 was 20, number 2 was 30, but after swapping number 1 became 30 and number 2 became 20. So this is what we did. This is how you can swap two numbers, okay, using a third variable. We used a third variable here and then we swapped these two numbers, okay. That's why you got the result as 30 and 20. Similarly, if you will give, for example, 50 and here you will give 100. So number 2 value become 50 and number 1 value become 100. Let's run it. Opposite basically, right? So it was 50 and 100, now it is 150. Okay, so that's how you can do it. Okay, if you will ask me, okay, I want to input the number, okay, so you can do that also. Int, then input, okay, then give your message, enter number 1, and similarly you can do it here. Okay, enter number 2. Okay, or you can just write it number 1, number 2. Okay, let's run it. So here you can enter number 1. So let me give number 1 as 100 and number 2 as 200. So after swapping, you see it became 200 and 100. So this is how you can swap two numbers. Okay, now I will show you another approach. So this is basically your approach 1. Approach 1. Okay, I will show you another approach. Let me comment it out. Okay, I will show you approach 2. How it is? It's very easy. Okay, just one line. So you can just write like this: num1 comma num2 is equal to num2 comma num1. Okay, so what we are doing here? Basically, if you will see here, right, in num1 we are assigning num2 and in num2 we are assigning num1. So this is the first one, right? Num1 comma num2, then num2 comma num1. Basically in this num1 we are assigning this first value, and this num2 we are assigning this second value, because it will be in sequentially, right? So for this is the value, for this is the value. So in one line only you can do all these changes. Okay, so let me just run it. So enter first number, let me give 20, second number let me give 30. See, it was 20 30 and then it became 30 20. Very simple, right? So this is how you can swap two numbers in one line only. Okay, that's why Python is very easy. Okay, you have to write very less code. Okay, just think about it. If you would have written it in Java or C, right, you would have minimum write 3 lines, but 2 lines at least, right? But you can do it in only one line. So that's how Python is very easy. I hope you guys are also watching my previous videos, because I am creating a full Python series, Python programming series. Okay, so watch all these videos. It will be very helpful for your interview. Okay, so these are the very basic questions you will get in your interview. So watch all the videos. If you like it, please press the like button and share it with your friends. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please do subscribe. I will bring lot of different type of videos which will be helpful for your interview. Okay, so thank you. Bye bye.